We recently spent spring break in Moab, Utah, and there is so much to see. In this video, we're going to take you on a tour of Arches National Park, give you a summary of all the major stops, and give you some tips on how to avoid the crowds. If you haven't already, please subscribe. So it's roughly 8:20 and the cars are just rolling in. So we're going to tackle this Arches National Park by driving through, stopping for pictures while the sun is beautiful, but we're going to try to make it to the back of the park and then work our way forward throughout the day. This is the Courthouse Tower stop. So if you arrive in the morning, Balanced Rock is really difficult to see because you're just blocked out by the sun. But if you pass it, there's a little pullout right past it on the road, and so we're going to get some pictures here. The lighting is much better. So the one must do for me was Delicate Arch, and like I said, it's a little after 8:30. It's a very small parking lot from the trailhead, and it was full, and it's a Monday. However, it is late March near spring break time. So if you pass it's Wolf Ranch is where you actually park to hike to Delicate Arch. That's where you get the really good photographs. But there is a viewpoint a little farther down the road, and there's plenty of parking here, as you can see behind me. There's plenty of spots. So we're gonna walk to the viewpoint, and then we're going to try a little later. We're in Moab for the better part of the week, and so we're going to try later this afternoon and maybe at a different time to try to get Delicate Arch. The Delicate Arch viewpoint. There are two ways to go. There's kind of a fork in the road. There's an upper viewpoint and a lower viewpoint. It's a bit of a hike. We're going on the upper one, and as you can see, I'm panting. There's a set of stairs to get up to the viewpoint. It kind of looked on the map like it was just right there. So it's a little bit of a walk. So for the people that do the hike to Delicate Arch, you can see them way over here on this hill, hiking all the way up. And there's a very large line of people. I'm gonna zoom in, see if we can see it. All waiting for their Instagram photo. Right there by Delicate Arch. Probably a little shaky. And here's a view. This is the upper trail for the Delicate Arch viewpoint. There's pretty views all around. So the lower viewpoint view is basically from right here. If you can see above my head, let's see if I can't position the camera right. There we go. You just peep over the hill. So I definitely recommend if you come to the viewpoint to walk. If you can, if you're able, go to the top of the hill, and then you can see it really cool. It's kind of neat to see those crowds of people waiting in line for their pictures too. It's a great place to hit up in the morning. So when you see cars starting to park alongside of the road, you should take the nearest parking space. Don't be picky because these places fill up super fast. So we made our way to the Devil's Playground campground. It's very end of the road, and we're going to find some hiking trails here. We're going to do a little exploring. So we walked around Devil's Gardens. We went to the Devil's Gardens, the Devil's Garden Playground. We walked all around the Devil's Garden Playground. And we did the full loop to Double O Arch and the primitive loop around. If you're interested in watching that hike, I'm gonna have that on a separate video that I'm gonna show at a later date and then eventually link right up here. And now we're gonna sit down and enjoy some lunch and see if we have any energy to continue on in Arches National Park today. I don't have the van life, but I do have the Highlander life. So we're gonna sit in the back of our Highlander and enjoy some lunch. So we just stopped at the Fiery Furnace Lookout. This is a little better in the afternoon. First thing in the morning, it looks towards the east, and the mountains are really hazy, of course, when the sun's coming up. So it's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and the colors are really beautiful right now. The trail here at the Fiery Furnace is currently closed. These views are definitely worth a stop. And what's really cool, you can see like a little tinge of turquoise off in the distance. Again, afternoon sun is best here. And I don't know, I guess in March you get the snowy mountains, which is really spectacular. This is the Fiery Furnace stop. And you can see like down there, looks kind of cool. All the different colors. And then I think you've got like Balanced Rock and some of the other lookouts at part of Arches are over in that area of the park. In terms of parking, first thing in the morning, I think there is a mad rush for anyone who wants to do hiking to get to Delicate Arch and also to that Devil's Garden that we were just at. And then, you know, a little later in the morning, I think some of the people that get here really early start to leave after they hike the trail. And so they say if the parking is full to just try back a little later. So we'll see. We're going to try at some point to get back to Delicate Arch. But I did notice that when we left Devil's Garden around 2 p.m., there were several spaces. It looked like it had, I'd probably say it probably maxed out about 9 or 10 a.m. And then people start to leave and spaces start to open up. This is the Garden of Eden viewpoint right here. You can see several people hiking up to these rocks, maybe doing some rock climbing up there. And it's just very spectacular views. The mountains off to the distance. And we're going to continue to the windows down this road. The area called the Windows, you definitely don't want to miss that. It looks so cool.
We arrived at the Windows area around 3 p.m. and we were fascinated with the formations. However, the parking lot was full and quite frankly, we were rather exhausted after hiking about 8 miles in the Devil's Garden area. So we decided to head back into Moab to get some rest and refuel and head back up to Arches later that evening.
Note to self, nothing is fast in Moab, not even the fast food.
Slow-ab.
It's Slow-ab.
It's Slow-ab. Yeah.
Slow-ab Moab. It's been about 15 minutes and we're still in the line at Wendy's.
Slow-ab.
So far my experience in Moab has been less than ideal just because it is so crowded. Our budget hotel has been very problematic, but it is like at least half, if not 3 times cheaper than the other hotels in the area. So I'm sticking it out, sucking it up, and just dealing with it to save some money. But there's like a constant stream of traffic through the main drag. There's construction right now as well, so it's kind of hard to get around, and service everywhere has been really slow. We waited 35 minutes in the Wendy's drive-thru and the workers were strange. I don't really know what was going on in there. They said they were severely short-staffed.
They were high.
I think they were high or something really weird. So just plan accordingly. Don't expect to get anything done in a hurry here.
We continued this strategy for several days. We would come back into town mid-afternoon and then we would head back up to Arches National Park as the crowds were heading into Moab for dinner. It worked really great, and we got right in without a wait.
Okay, and we're back after a little snack and some rest time, and it's about 6 p.m. and we actually got a parking space right up front, which was really nice. So once most people head back into town for dinner, it's a good place to come on back up here and see some of the sites that are typically pretty crowded. This is the South Arch behind me. And so far this windows area is my favorite. There are many cool arches. And honestly, today at the Devil's Garden, there weren't as many arches as I was expecting to see. And this area really makes up for it. So make sure you make time to come and visit the windows area.